Guys, hello. I know it's strange for most of you to see me wearing so many layers, though, there are people from Australia watching, maybe they would understand me. Or from Latin America, anyways. It's winter here, so I'm wearing my kind of berserk inspired armor. And strangely enough, I've noticed that I think of Berserk I think of this anime every 2 days or something, or mention it. Always will take up space in my heart. But yeah, it was such a nice one. Anyways, I was thinking of advertising to you reading today and start this book, which I strangely haven't read before. I know it's classic, but strangely enough, again, I haven't read it. I don't know, never. Neither in my native language nor in English. And I thought the language is pretty simple, so I have little chance to screw up in public. But it's nice to test. It's always nice to test whether I screw up in public or not. So anyways, a little backstory of why we're doing this right now. And forgive me, I'm still a little bit sick. I'm a little bit sick, so that my leak through my voice, intonations and so on and so forth, because of course I caught some kind of cold during this weather, and yeah. Anyways, for some of you that watch me a long time, scrolling and this kind of activities and brain rot have been an issue here, because I stopped reading, I think, a few years ago, even though I read like a lot, almost every day, before that whole Instagram reels, I don't know, doom scrolling thing. So, and I know it's an issue for many people, so I was trying to consciously start again, reading again, and maybe finishing some of the books that I have. And I thought that I should dedicate more time to it, and maybe consciously plan, this kind of activities, and not wait for motivation to come in, to kick in, and just like give me this boost of energy and eagerness to read again, so on and so forth. And funny thing with me is, I wonder if there are people out there who think the same or have the same kind of trouble. Is that I used to read mostly this type of books, like non-fictional academic books, and you don't have to read it from the beginning till the end if it's not pop science. Usually it's even there are even sections, for instance with, I don't know, science articles or something, and you don't have to read it till the end. laziness and lack of determination, and stopped reading till the end. Anyways, right now I'm really determined, so I took, oh gosh, a dog there. I took this book from my friend. I borrowed it. This book. This would be my third book in this getting back to reading thing, this kind of period of time. And by the way, this thing has a lot of texture. That's why I picked it up. And it's kind of warm. Moderately warm. And yeah, I also wanted to mention one more thing before we begin. I have noticed some really positive changes in my brain, which was so surprising and so fast. That you start to notice things and describe things and even think in different way. And my focus improved, and I was so happy having this kind of mental ability, like as I used to have, to think things through, think things deeply. So I just like to watch sometimes those type of videos, that advertise different lifestyle or detoxing from Instagram and social medias and so on and so forth, and they don't really share for some reason, which for me feels a little bit frustrating. They don't really share positive effects that happen to them, maybe because it's obvious, but for me I like to, this is so juicy and I want this, in my life. So I hope some of you may find, if maybe all the people are reading right now and I'm the only one with this problem, but who cares? Who cares? But maybe for some of you that might be a little bit inspiring, so that's why I'm sharing. This actually works, and of course depending on the book, but it's just like a reset button if you power through first 40 pages. It's like a reset button for the brain, I feel like, because this kind of, like, I felt like I had more ideas right after reading, and whilst I was reading I felt like my brain observes things like a teeny tiny Virginia Woolf inhibited my body, and now she rules the game and she gives me these little hunches and observations. Anyways, let's get to it. No more edging. Let's get to it. There's this type of thing as well. If you really want to hear about it, the first thing you'll probably want to know is where I was born and what my lousy childhood was like, and how my parents were occupied, and all before they had me. And all that David Copperfield kind of crap. But I don't feel like going into it. If you want to know the truth, in the first place, that stuff bores me, and the second place, my parents would have about 2 hemorrhages apiece. If I told anything pretty personal about them. They are quite quite touchy about anything like that, especially my father. They're nice and all. They're nice and all, but I'm not saying that. But they're also touchy as hell. Besides, I'm not going to tell you my whole damn autobiography or anything. I'll just tell you about this madam stuff that happened to me around last Christmas, just before I got pretty run down and had to come out here and take it easy. That's all I told DB. Okay, I guess this is the person we will have to encounter. That's all I told DB about, but he's my brother-in-law. He's in Hollywood. That isn't too far from this Crumbie place, and he comes over and visits me practically every weekend. He's going to drive me home when I go home next month, maybe. He just got a Jaguar. Yeah. Okay. This type of car, I think. Anyways, one of those little English jobs that can do around 200 miles an hour. It costs him damn near $4,000. He's got a lot of dough now. I didn't used to. He used to be just a regular writer when he was home. He used to be just a regular writer when he was home. He wrote this terrific book of short stories, The Secret Goldfish, in case you never heard of him. The best one in it was The Secret Goldfish. Okay, it was about this little kid that wouldn't let anybody look at his goldfish because he bought it with his own money. It killed me. Now he's out in Hollywood, DB being a prostitute. Okay, if there is one thing I hate, it is the movies. Don't even mention them to me. Where I want to start telling is the day I left Pensy Prep. Pensy Prep is the school at the Eggerstown, Pennsylvania. You probably heard of it. I've probably seen the ads anyway. You've probably seen the ads anyway. They advertise in about 1,000 magazines, always showing some hotshot guy on a horse jumping over a fence. I guess he must be rich or something. Like as if all you ever did at Pensy was play polo all the time. I never even once saw a horse anywhere near the place. Underneath the guy on a horse's picture, it always says, "Since 1888, we have been molding boys into splendid, clear-thinking young men." Okay, strictly for the birds. They don't do any damn more molding at Pensy than they do at any other school. And I didn't know anybody there was splendid and clear-thinking at all. Maybe 2 guys, if that many. They probably came to Pensy that way. Anyways, it was the Saturday of the football game with Saxon Hall. The game with Saxon Hall was supposed to be a very big deal around Pensy. It was just a sec. It was the last game of the year, and you were supposed to commit suicide or something if Old Pensy didn't win. I remember around 3 o'clock that afternoon I was standing way the hell up on top of Thompson Hill, right next to this crazy cannon that was in the Revolutionary War and all. You could see the whole field from there, and you could see the 2 teams bashing each other all over the place. You couldn't see the grandstand too hot. But You could hear them all yelling deep and terrific on the Pensy side, because practically the whole school except me was there, and scrawny and faggy on the Saxon Hall side, because the visiting team hardly ever brought many people with them. There were many girls and all at the football games. Only seniors were allowed to bring girls with them. It was a terrible school, no matter how you looked at it. I like to be somewhere at least where you can see a few girls around once in a while, even if they're only scratching their arms or blowing their noses or even just giggling or something. Old Selma Turmer was Thurmer, not sure. She was the headmaster's daughter, showed up at the game quite often, but she wasn't exactly the type that drove you mad with desire. She was a pretty nice girl, though. I sat next to her once in the bus from Augustrum and was sort of struck up in conversation. I liked her. She had a big nose and her nails were all bitten down and bleeding looking, and she had on those damn falsies that point all over the place, but you felt sort of sorry for her. Okay. What I liked about her, she didn't give you a lot of horse manure about what a great guy her father was. Oh, horse manure, that's nice. I haven't. I think maybe at some point I've heard this expression, but it seems kind of familiar, but actually exciting. Because, yeah, just like this expression. The reason I was standing way up on Thompson Hill instead of down at the game, because I just got back from New York with the fencing team. Oh, fencing, nice. Fun fact, I used to do fencing. I don't know. Did you need this fact? No, but you know it now. Anyways, only we didn't have the meat. Sorry, I skipped a few lines. I was the goddamn manager of the fencing team. Very big deal. We'd gone into New York that morning for this fencing meet with McBurney's school. Only we didn't have the meat. I left all the foils and equipment and stuff on the goddamn subway. It wasn't all my fault. I had to keep getting up to look at this map so we'd know where to get off. So we got back to Pensy around 2:30 instead of around dinner time. The whole team ostracized me the whole way back on the train. It was pretty funny in a way. And the other reason I wasn't down at the game because I was on my way to say goodbye to old Spencer, my history teacher. He had the grip, and I figured I probably wouldn't see him again till Christmas vacation started. He wrote me this note saying he wanted to see me. Saying he wanted me to see before I went home. He wanted to see me before I went home. He knew I wasn't coming back to Pensy. I forgot to tell you about that. They kicked me out. I wasn't supposed to come back after Christmas vacation on account of I was flunking 4 subjects and not applying myself and all. They gave me frequent warning to start applying myself, especially around midterms when my parents came up for a conference with old Turmer, but I didn't do it. So I got the axe. They gave guys the axe quite frequently at Pensy. It has a very good academic rating, Pensy. It really does. Okay. We are 4 pages in. Let me know. Do you guys still enjoy reading with me? If so, I could spare this book for our... I don't know if it's actually very common for people to already have read it, but maybe yes. Anyways, I could pick another one and leave it all for myself, because it seems to be going pretty rapidly. So let me know what you think, and